In this video, we are going to learn another concept called change of subject. It's a little bit difficult, so let's work hard together. Let's look at the case of a triangle once again. So in a triangle, we want to find the area A. So I should know the base, which is called B. And I also need to know the height, which is called h. So the formula of area of triangle would be given by A is BH over 2. This A, which is single on the left-hand side, it is called a subject. That means in this formula, we can find out the area by giving B, the base, and also the h, the height. So what if I want to have a formula to find B? Then I need to use the idea of change of subject. The procedures will be as follows. In order to find B, so first of all, I should remove the 2, so that it gives us 2a equal to bh. In order to get a b to be the subject, I need to remove the h as well. So as a result, it turns to 2a over h equal to b. So it's almost done, except that we need to put the subject on the left-hand side. So that's why we rewrite the formula as b is 2a over h in this form. In this formula, now the subject will be our B instead of A in the beginning. Now, would you please pause for a minute to try to change the formula into H to be the subject? Let's try it now. Alright, I think most of you can do it, so that's why let's start together. So once again, we will remove the 2 first, having BH equal to 2A. In order to get H to be the subject, I remove the B as well. So that's why it turns out to be 2a over b. Finally, we put the subject on the left-hand side by rewriting the formula as h is 2a over b. And that's the new formula, having h to be the subject. So let's repeat again. The meaning of subject will be simply the single letter on the left-hand side. We call it the subject. So that's why in the following question, can you write down the subject of each of the formula? You recall my word. What is the letter which is single in the formula? You have Y, M, P, V, and C. So these are the subjects of the following or these 5 questions. Some students find that change of subject is very hard because it also consists of the concepts of factorization and expansion. So let's take a look on the following 3 questions and see how we can deal with it. In number 5, you will see that I want to put T to be the subject, but now the T you can see is scattered on 2 sides. So that's why the first job we have to do will be, can you put the T on one side first and then do the factorization? Now, our T is on the left-hand side already, but on the right-hand side, the T is in the brackets. So that's why we need to expand it to 100p minus pt. Here, we do expansion because I want to break down the brackets. Next, the key will be I need to put the T together so that I can make the T as a subject. So as a result, we simply put pt to the left-hand side and turns to a plus equal to 100p on the right-hand side. Now, I want to have T to the subject. So that's why we take out T as the common factor and having R plus P in the brackets equal to 100p here. And in this step, we do factorization because after I put the T or group the T on one side, next we will take it out as a common factor to make a single T. Finally, this is something we don't want to have on the left-hand side, so that's why we do division. Finally, the formula turns out to be 100p over R plus P. And now you successfully change T to be the subject. And that's the end of the question. In conclusion, in order to change the subject to be a T in this question, first, we need to look at where are the T first. Next, we try to put them together by the first 2 steps. And in this step, we need to do expansion to break down the brackets. Once the T are all together, then you take out the common factor of T by using factorization. Finally, you remove the term next to T put it on the right hand side and make the formula for t. And the most important thing is t is single on one side, which is called the subject. Now, let's see how you apply the concept in number 6 as well. The question requires us to put you to be the subject, but now you is up and down. We don't have a way to move them together. So that's why I have to remove the fraction first by writing w times u minus 2 equal to u plus 2. And now it's like the case in number 5 now. U is on both sides, so that's why I have to put them together. In this situation, I need to do expansion to break down the brackets, giving you wu minus 2w, u, and also plus 2. So the u now is on two sides. We can put them together simply by moving everything on the left-hand side. While 2w is nothing about u, so I move it to the right-hand side. Next, you see that u is now all together on the left. That means we can do factorization, taking out u out from the expression, and then you have a new expression like this one. And also, it is a step we call factorization. Finally, can you write down the answer of u by yourselves? I think you can. But as a conclusion, can you see that it carries the same concept of number 5 by doing expansion factorization appropriately? But the difference in number 6 will be, at first, u is in the fraction, in the denominator. So that's why we have to remove the fraction first, but by multiplying u minus 2 to the left-hand side, so as to repeat the procedures in number 5. Finally, let's have a very quick look at number 10. This time you want to make R to be the subject, and once again, so the R is on both sides. So the very first step would be we put the things with R to one side first. So that's why on the right hand side it comes to 4mr and nr. So don't care too much about R is on the right hand side, because we can rewrite the expression afterward. Once R is ready, or on one side, now we can take out the common factor, R, having 4m plus n afterward. As a result, by removing 4m plus n by using division, then we can successfully turn R to be the subject. The last job you only need to do will be, can you rewrite the R? You can pause for the video for a short while, maybe 5 seconds, to write the answer. Alright, so it should be very easy. mn divided by 4m plus n, and that's all. The next part B, will be very easy because you're doing substitution and we want to find the value of R. So that's why you start with put m equal to 3, n equal to 8 into, so you better remind to write the formula, which is called mn divided by 4m plus n. For the rest of the calculation, I leave it as your work. It's very easy, trust me. Lastly, so let's round up the session on talking about very hard question. So in this question, you will see that it is a solid, like model, made up of two parts. One part will be the hemisphere on top, the other part will be a cylinder at the bottom. But anyway, it tells you the surface area can be given or find by this formula, which is quite complicated, right? R stands for the radius, while h stands for the height of the cylinder. So everything is ready. So to start with, the question is asking you about changing h to be subject. So that's why let's rewrite the formula first. It's called A is 3 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh. So we use the same logic in the previous question. Find the h first. Luckily, you have only one here, so that's why we start moving the terms away one by one. The first one to start with, we move away the first one, which is easier to do it because it's just by subtraction. A minus 3 pi r squared will be 2 pi rh. Next, 2 pi r is still multiplied to h, so this is something we need to remove away as well. This one, we need to use division, so which gives you h will be a minus 3 pi r squared divided by 2 pi r. The most important thing I also mentioned in the lesson is, when you do change of subject, don't care too much about left-hand side, right-hand side. Because the thing we should be focused on would be, we should find out the letter singly on one side. It may be on the right, like in this question, it may be on the left-hand side. So once you get the single h, so you can rewrite it as a minus 3 pi r squared divided by 2 pi r. And we successfully generate the formula, having h to be the subject. So I repeat the little trick to you again. When you do change of subject, don't care much about left-hand side, right-hand side. The main point is try to keep the h singly on one side, and you are successful in finishing the question. Next, we come to part B, so which is talking about if the base radius is 10, that means it's about r, total surface area, that is your A, which is 360, and you want to find the height, which is h. When you study the question, you do remember to write the labels. So h is the value of r, 360 pi will be value of A, etc. in the question. It helps you to do the substitution in an easier way. Now let's start doing the question together. So we can put r to be a 10, A will be 360 pi, into the new formula we have made, which is called h is A minus 3 pi r squared divided by 2 pi r. And then as a result, we should have not 360. It should be h, we don't know. A is 360 pi, 3 pi 10 squared divided by 2 pi and 10. So I don't suggest you to use 22/7 or 3.14 in the question, because pi itself you can treat it as a constant. What I mean is you can still keep the pi here as 360 pi, whereas the second term comes to 300 pi. Bottom one, can you check it out by yourselves? Yes, very good, 20 pi. So as a result, now you can do the cancellation or calculation on top, which is a 60 pi on top. After dividing 20 pi, it will be a 3. So this is the height. But be careful, it's only the height of the cylinder. So as a result, the question is asking you about the height of the solid. That means the full height of the solid. So as a result, in part B, we continue on the left column. The height of the solid would be not just about the 3 cm, but it will be also consist of, okay, we write here, so 3, and also you can see the r is missing, so r which is a 10. And finally, the height should be a 13 cm of the whole solid. So it's a little bit tricky at the end of the question, because after finding h is 3 it's not yet the end of the question. You have to read the question very carefully, that it's about the height of the solid, so that to avoid making a mistake.